Good morning, Africa. We are glad to have you join us once again. It's Breakfast Central on News Central. My name is Olisa Chukuma.
And of course, to all our viewers across the continent, we are set to bring you the perfect African breakfast. My name is Oluchi Enobong.
Yes, indeed. We begin the show today with a look at the headlines. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari approves the establishment of National Center for Light Weapons.
All right, in terms of security, we have security crisis as it deepens in Nigeria.
Still more to come. South Africa receives its first dose of Pfizer vaccines.
And in the world of sports, we have the ULC as Manchester City hosts the PSG.
All right, watching the world on outside Africa. More on that, especially with Bill and Melinda Gates' divorce case, right up next.
Stay right here with us.
Well, thank you very much for watching. It's Tuesday, the 4th of May, 2021. Let's begin breakfast this morning with a review of the morning papers. And we're starting in West Africa, Nigeria, with the Daily Times. Quite an interesting front page spread they've got there. And it talks about bandits threatening to kill 17 varsity students. More now on page 2. But there's a picture there of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, and the Kaduna State Governor, Malam El-Rufai. So there you have it on the front page there, all about elections too. Why Lagos made U-turn on local government elections. Presidency at his bottom center there says, I am Rice Buhari, says Nigeria slipping into anarchy. More on page 4. And in terms of the economy, investors pledged $8.41 billion injections into Nigeria's economy. And at the very top, this is interesting when it talks about the Warri Kingdom's missing crown. Police recover keys to where items are kept. So monarchy problems in southeast Nigeria, Warri Delta State to be more precise. So there you have it on the front page with Buhari and El-Rufai there.
Interesting one. All right, from West Africa, Nigeria, we'll move to the Sowetan papers of South Africa. And looking at the Sowetan papers this morning, we have Pupil who regrets hitting Lufono. You have more details on page 6 of that paper this morning. Cashing in hard work for education as the cashier gets her BSc degree. Oh, such a beautiful story. You have more of it on page 7 of the paper. And of course, with very bold print, you have this here, talking about jungle justice. Here, quote unquote, here we beat the life out of a thief. That's what it's saying here. As 2 men dead, a third fights for his life. As residents in Eastern Settlement, they take laws into their hands. They are saying that the police does nothing about the crime in that area. More details in the papers for you to read this very morning. All right, moving on from there, we're going on to the very next paper that we have.
Yeah, and that will be the New Vision in Uganda. Let's go there straight of all to see what they have in the New Vision in Uganda. It talks about Parliament approves more taxes in the country, introduces 8% levy on fish with Mao exports. More that on page 10. Also there at the bottom right says government plans law to regulate social media. And this is quite an interesting one this morning on the New Vision in Uganda. But at the top right, you have the President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. So Museveni hosts outgoing cabinet to luncheon, and also Kampala air quality getting worse. More on that report, but I'm very sure many people will be looking at that one. Talks about government planning to regulate social media.
All right, coming back to West Africa, Nigeria, we are looking at the Punch newspaper this very morning. And in the Punch paper, what we have, talking about the social media, we have this at the bottom left, talking about Press Freedom Day NHRC condemns NBC's fines as well as the National Assembly anti-media bill. More details, you have that in page 11 of the Punch this morning. Coming down also to the middle page there in the Punch newspaper, you have gunmen abduct 3 Ibarapa ranch owners and they're demanding for 10 million naira. Such a sad story. Also, you have here on the Punch, outrage as Benue headers murder 19 and bandits also vow to kill 17 varsity students. We have this across the pages of the papers in southwest Nigeria here. Also, you see the picture of this elephant. Wow. The elephant, wow. This elephant was killed by a group of hunters in Ogun State, Nigeria. You have more details. I mean, is this something we should be happy for? Or what? I mean, is this something we should sit down and have a rethink on? You can have more details on the Punch newspaper.
Well, that front page picture on the Punch. You know, they've gone for this one. It's quite an animal story, but also because the story says unknown hunters kill, and it looks like a baby elephant. This elephant can be more than 3-4 years of age, and it's been brutally slaughtered. There. I'm not sure the people on the background are those who killed it, but perhaps they found it. But it's really a sad one in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, seeing that an elephant was just slaughtered and left for dead, basically, because I don't think there was anything edible here from the picture we're looking at. Oh,
Lisa, you will be shocked at the amount of meat people will try and get out from that elephant. For some people, that's a big cash elephant, not cash cow. So
there's no talk about whether its tuskers were removed. We're not clear on that. But quite a sad one. Still, Breakfast Central on News Central. Lisa and Oluchi for you this wonderful Tuesday morning. Yeah, up next, we're going straight to our top stories. Go straight to it this time in Nigeria, West Africa, where the continuous attacks across the country and border has made the President Muhammadu Buhari to approve the establishment of a National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, something they've called the NCCSALW. Now, a statement released on the official Twitter handle of the presidency, President Buhari said the center will be under the office of the National Security Advisor.
Now, the statement added that the president is restructuring the Nigeria security architecture with the aim of addressing the security threats experienced in Nigeria while strengthening the regional mechanism for the control of small arms. All right, let's bring in political analysts Dennis Amakri and Chris Mustafa Nwokobia into the picture this morning. Hello, good morning.
All right, Dennis, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dennis.
I really hope he can hear us.
He can hear us, exactly.
This morning. Dennis returns to Breakfast Central this morning. We had him last week. We're talking about insecurity in Nigeria, and this time it's the president approving this one about, small firearms and light weapons. So good morning, Dennis Amakri. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. All right.
All right. I mean, this story bags a lot of questions. One of the questions is, if you look at the presidency, there's been a lot of committees that have been created here and there and in different sectors of the cabinet, and a lot of people are beginning to ask how effective are the committees that we created in the past? Why are we beginning to have smaller offices within the major office? I mean, are we not going to duplicate roles and responsibilities? Do we have the funds to cater for all of this? These are some of the questions and many more that people are begging to be answered by the president and his crew. And
it will be interesting to know how Nigerians reacted from that tweet by the presidency yesterday, approving this one about small firearms and light weapons. Clearly viewed as a response to the growing insecurity in the country, and like you talked about, it will now be under the National Security
Another
Advisor.
Office. I mean,
but rightly so, based on what we are seeing right now, perhaps it's the right step to go.
Are we sure it is the right step to go? I mean, looking at the past, having tried this same method in other sectors, has it been effective? A big question that a lot of Nigerians are also looking for is, why has the president not even come to address the people? Why has he not come out to make statements or to even reassure Nigerians that everything is under control and he's sitting on top of the helms of affairs when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria?
Well, he's talking about, the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. So the big question is, why did he take up till now? Because clearly, we have more than small arms and light weapons.
What do
now.
we even call small arms? What are we placing, or which category are we placing small arms and light weapon under? Are we saying the machetes and the small ding guns are under that category?
It's beyond that, with the category of firearms that we're seeing with gunmen and kidnappers and abductors in different parts of the country, whether southeast or northeast, perhaps even northwest now, since the issues we had last week in Niger. Yes, the big question, can we categorize that as small arms and light weapons? But the control, that is the big question now. That why has it taken so long, perhaps, for the presidency and even the government to come that, look, we need to control what's coming into this country. Where are these small arms, quote unquote, and light weapons coming from? Because what our military is facing, what our police are facing, and I use the word our, basically Nigeria now says, Nigerians speak, it's not small arms. It's not light weapons. It's heavy gunfire.
That begs the question, Olisa. That is why people are asking. I mean, if we're saying that we should track this, Olisa, you and I were not technocrats. It's not rocket science that these are things that should be done. Nigerians are asking questions. I mean, if we're to track it, why is it taking so long for us to trace? These weapons don't just appear like abracadabra. I mean, it's not magic. It goes through somewhere. It goes through a procedure. It goes through certain lands and waters before it gets to our terrain. And we have people who are fabricating it. They're sourcing for this material somewhere. If only we can get a way for which this can be tracked, this can be traced, just as you've rightly said, then we probably might have a clue, we might have an idea of what it is these people are doing and where they're sourcing this from, and nip that at the board. As it is hot as my people they talk on.
Yes, so the presidency here is also looking to restructure the security architecture of the country. Now, this comes also with the tweets yesterday from the presidency about this new commission they're setting up to control of small arms and light weapons. Well, people will go back to what happened, Oluchi, in the northeast in the past month, where we've seen police security agencies attacked. With many what we'll describe as heavy weapons.
Oh, not light weapons? Not light weapons.
Anybody who has any bit of security, knowledge, even for the layman, that you don't go to a police station, you don't go to a prison to free inmates with machetes. And yes, we might call machetes small arms, but the category of insecurity right now, I guess perhaps when we saw that tweet yesterday, one of the questions that, are we saying that with what we're seeing in the country, that we want to categorize them under those small arms and light weapons, or are we just trying to now beat time, beat around the bush and waste more time rather than attacking the problems at the get-go? However, this country has been seeing lots of weapons coming in. It's time to put a control to it. I
totally agree. You took it right out of my mouth, Lisa. I mean, because Nigerians, and just like a lot of Nigerians are saying, it is not rocket science. We know that, there will be challenges, or there are challenges here and there in trying to secure the country, which is understandable. But Nigerians need to feel that the president is up to his game, or he's up at his game, or he's good, he knows what he's doing. And that's why people are asking for him to come and address the people.
Well, we'll continue
even if it's on social media.
This debate about the presidency not addressing, what do you want? So, what do we want?
Efficiency. Nigerians are looking for efficiency. Nigerians are looking for Nigerians are looking for efficiency. Nigerians are looking for signs where at least this hope that we're talking about, we can actually see action being put in place. Nigerians are looking for situations where they can, or they're looking forward to a time where they can go to bed and sleep with your two eyes closed and not having to find your own security, not having to be your own security. It's tough enough that we're our own Minister of Light. We're our own Minister of Transport. Yeah, because there are some situations where you have to power your own house, even though you're paying taxes. I mean, now Nigerians are looking for how to even, when you're looking at healthcare, can we give ourselves a scorecard on healthcare? Can we give ourselves a scorecard on basic amenities in the country? Can we give ourselves a scorecard when it comes to even food security in the country?
Fine, that's given. Security is the big topic that we're talking about every day. Now we have a tweet from the presidency talking about the control of these light weapons and small arms. 1, why did it take this long? 2, is this the way to go? Are we categorizing these weapons that we're seeing around the country as small arms? All right, joining us right now on Breakfast Central, we have returning to the program, Dennis Amatri. Dennis is a political analyst. Good morning to you, Dennis. Welcome back to Breakfast Central.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, Dennis, every day in the country, lives are being lost and properties are being destroyed. The National Assembly as a team now, they're divided. On one side, we have some people clamoring for one. The Senate is actually calling for the international support, while the House of Representatives, they're calling for a state of emergency. There's some form of imbalance in all of this. What do you make about the entire situation?
We are in a situation of chaos. Shows us that the country has come to the crossroads. A lot of things that were supposed to be corrected before, that were not corrected, are now being addressed, and they are with us right now. So we just don't have to start crying about it. We have to go ahead and address it properly, and we address it correctly, because I think most of the people that are addressing it wrongly. So that's where we find ourselves now.
All right, Dennis, let's talk about this latest one from the presidency that was announced, the establishment of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. What is needed to address the security situation in the country? Is this the right step to go right now?
Well, I think the right step to go right now, that Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, it should have been on for long. I think there was even one that under the Office of the National Security Advisor. But what we need now is a war room, a place where all the service chiefs will meet every morning, because we're in a war.
Well, Dennis, I need to. You're saying that, which you agree with some Nigerians since that announcement was made about this establishment of this center, that it's needed and it's a long time coming. But with the situation we have now, people are asking: is it small arms that we're seeing in the northeast, north central, northwest, and are those light weapons our security agencies are facing day in, day out?
Yes, the control of light weapons and small arms is what we are facing right now. When we say light weapons, small arms, we're talking of AK-47s, RPGs, we're talking of ARs, and then of course, sometimes grenade launchers. So that is what is in the market, and that's what is in the field right now. So if we want to control them, you are thinking of heavy weapons. The ones that militants or the terrorists are carrying are not classified as heavy arms.
Heavy weapons.
Yes,
all right. So,
military grade.
Okay, so then is one of the things I know a lot of Nigerians have been calling for, which is what we also discussed here, is an address by the president to the nation. Now, people are beginning to wonder, why is the president silent? I mean, all that has happened and is still happening in the country.
I don't know myself. I think this question will ask the president why he does not want to address his nation, because we expect him to, like I said earlier, every morning, all the service chiefs should assemble in the war room, or we call it situation room, and then, of course, go through what has happened in the country in the last 24 hours, and then address them. He can now come out and tell everybody that, look, Nigerians, this is what is happening. And then, of course, I want you to remain calm. I'm handling it and stuff like that. But if he's not addressing Nigerians, I don't know why.
Okay. Dennis, once again, I need to ask you this. The latest news we are hearing as of this morning, quite early, is that, the kidnappers of the Greenfield University Kaduna students have said they will kill the students in their custody. So that is more problems now for the parents and relatives of these students. So where do we go from here now?
Well, I will say that the Kaduna State Governor has taken his stance about zero tolerance to ransom payment. I support him in that, because he has been paying ransom. And as long as he has been paid, they've been taking it and coming back. So what is the guarantee that this time, if he pays, they will release the hostage, quite all right, but they will use the money, buy more arms, and they will come back again. So why are we postponing the evil day? So right now, I agree with him, zero tolerance to ransom payment, but he should also use that money that he should have paid to empower the security agents to go after these boys, because it's not saying that I'm not going to pay, and then of course you allow them to be running amok. Go after them, make them uncomfortable, and then of course isolate the hostages, and then bring them back. I think that's what they should do. That's what is done.
But Dennis, this is a threat to kill 17 university students in their custody, a threat not just to the government, a threat to the people of Nigeria. Ransom or no ransom, should this threat be carried out, God forbid, heaven forbid, that these students are killed, what kind of message will that send to the country?
It will say that we are fighting terrorism. This is not the first time that hostages have been killed. We know that there is going to be a collateral damage. And then if this is going to be the collateral damage, then let them take it. But they must make sure that they just don't kill them in vain. That means if they are going to be used as the collateral damage, these guys, the government should prove itself that we are not going to pay you ransom and we are going to get you. You know, that is the message that should be sent out.
All right. Thank you very much, Dennis Makri, for your time on Breakfast Central.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Wow.
He made a statement like he was a walk in the park. I mean, having to sacrifice 17 students. These are siblings, or these are brothers, or to family members, loved ones. It's easier said than done. No parent watching this will want their child to be the sacrificial lamb just for the country to move forward.
17 students.
17. I'm lost for words.
Because people watching this one are asking, what's the effort to do for rescue? It doesn't look like it's coming. Right then, still Breakfast Central on News Central with Oluchi and Olisa. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back for more.
All right, you're welcome back. This is Breakfast Central on News Central. We'll start with South Africa, as South Africa has received the first batch of Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to boost its vaccination program. Now, the doses, according to reports, will be received every week, with a total of 4.5 million doses expected by the end of June.
Well, South Africa resumed vaccination using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that had stopped being administered over reports of blood clots elsewhere. Now, the country has so far recorded over 1.5 million coronavirus cases, including over 50,000 deaths, and well over 300,000 people have been vaccinated so far.
All right, now we have South African-based Nigerian journalist Patrick Egu, who now joins us from Johannesburg, South Africa. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so we've been, we know you've been investigating and you've been tracking the COVID-19 development there in South Africa. What exactly is the mood and feel in the country as we speak?
There's growing concern, among the people regarding the vaccination campaign. People are really concerned, and they want to know when it's going to get to their turn, when they are going to be vaccinated. What's the government doing regarding the vaccination campaign, and what's the whole situation or updates regarding the number of vaccines the country is getting. But the vaccination campaign is actually ongoing. Just few days ago, the country received more than 300,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, and another 4.5 million is expected by the end of June. So, vaccination programs are currently ongoing, even though people are concerned. More than 300,000 people have been vaccinated so far, and the country is expected to vaccinate around 67% of the population by the end of the year. But that is very unlikely because an online calculator developed by local journalists in the country says for the country to achieve 67 vaccination rates, that 150,000 doses of vaccine are meant to be administered every day, but currently just above 6,000 doses are administered every day. So with the current rate, with the current reality, it's going to take like more than 20 years for the whole population in the country to be vaccinated.
Well, Patrick, we know that South Africa, is a country in Africa that was the worst hit, when it comes to COVID-19 pandemic last year. Now, with the vaccines arrival now, tell us what the arrival of these vaccines, particularly from Pfizer, means for the country at this time.
Okay. It means that, massive vaccination campaigns will currently begin in the country. I mean, this currently a boost for the vaccination program in the country. More than 300,000 doses arrived a couple of days ago. Another 4.5 million doses are expected by the end of June. So it's going to boost their, vaccination campaign. There are currently more than 2,000 vaccination sites where these vaccination programs are ongoing. Being carried out by experts, by healthcare workers, and the rest of them. But currently, frontline health workers are the ones receiving the vaccines at the moment, and people above the age of 60 years. The vaccination program is actually going on in phases. You have phase 1, phase 2, and the final phase, which is the third phase, where the country is expected to vaccinate the whole population, which is 60 million. Here in South Africa, but I mean, among the population, there's growing concern when they are going to be likely going to be vaccinated, when it's going to get to their turn, and what the government generally is doing regarding, acquiring more vaccines from Johnson & Johnson, from Pfizer, and from other sources, including the WHO.
Okay. All right. Now, looking at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the reported case of blood clots with that particular vaccine, Johnson & Johnson, prompted a halt in its use at some point in South Africa. Now, do you see South Africans fully accepting this one, which is called the Pfizer vaccine? And is the country planning on continuing the use of the J&J as well?
Yeah, you're right. It was suspended in April, but the vaccination, because of the reported blood clots in the US, but the vaccination program has resumed again. It started on the 28th of April. The J&J vaccination program. And, with the arrival of the Pfizer and with the events and, with the reported incidents regarding the J&J, there's apprehension, among, South Africans, discussing and thinking, how is the Pfizer vaccine rollout going to be? Would there be, any incidents of blood clots like was reported in the US? Would there be any reaction, apart from the blood clots? Just general apprehension like we have in other countries that are rolling out vaccines, even including in Nigeria, where people are not, scared to get the vaccine regarding, especially with the high rate of misinformation and all that. But the vaccination program is currently ongoing here in South Africa. There's currently an online portal where you are meant to register. When you register and when it gets to your turn, you will get a notification via SMS or email for you to come to receive your vaccine. But currently, frontline health care workers are the ones receiving the vaccine, and people above the age of 60 years.
All right. Well, you were doing the math with your discussion there, Patrick. You said based on the figures and with the population of 67 million and what they've been receiving so far from J&J and even from Pfizer, that it will take about 20 years to vaccinate the whole of the population. We don't think South Africans have that kind of time, do they? Come on.
No, that's just an estimate. Like I said, an online calculator developed by local journalists in the country says for South Africa to achieve herd immunity, and herd immunity is, vaccinating 67% of the population. And for South Africa to achieve that, 150,000 doses of the vaccine are meant to be administered every day. For South Africa to achieve 67%, herd immunity. But currently, as we speak, just 6,000, doses are administered every day. So according to the calculator, with the current rate, with the current 6,000 doses being administered every day, it's likely going to take more than 20 years for the country to get to herd immunity, which is 67%. But that's just an estimate.
Yeah.
The country is still receiving millions of vaccines, from Pfizer, from Johnson & Johnson.
Actually, it does seem like South Africans are, receptive to vaccine. Yes, there was blood clots. Yes, there was suspension of AstraZeneca. Yes, there was suspension of J&J. Pfizer has come now. But generally speaking, do you see South Africans, from what you observe day in, day out there in Joburg, are they accepting of the vaccine? Do they see this as the light at the end of the tunnel, come what may, when it comes to COVID-19?
Yeah, very well compared to what we have back in Nigeria and other places where misinformation is really instilling fear among the people regarding accepting the vaccines. There's high rates of acceptance of the vaccine here. People are willing and eager and waiting for their turn to get the vaccine. Even though a couple of days ago I was having a conversation with a friend here in South Africa, and I mean he was telling me that even if he's selected to come get the vaccine, that he won't go, So when I asked why, he said because of the reported blood clots, regarding the J&J and all that. But generally among the population, among, South Africans, they are willing and eager to get the vaccine. But currently at the moment, frontline healthcare workers and people above the age of 60 are the ones, currently receiving the vaccine. Then by May 17th, people above the age of 18 would be considered for the vaccine. That's the current situation at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, Patrick Egu, Nigerian journalist based out there in South Africa with the latest in terms of the country receiving the first batch of the Pfizer vaccine. Thank you very much for coming on Breakfast, Patrick.
Alrighty, I mean, look, so in Africa, already there's some speculations of some religious leaders who are going against taking this vaccine, and that makes me that begs the question. I mean, people who are really, really religious and who follow these religious leaders, quote unquote, will they also be vaccinated? Will they willingly carry their
general
right
hesitancy?
and left legs?
It's not just left for
center?
religious hesitancy. There's also, some skeptical hesitancy that has nothing to do with your pastor or your imam or whatever you believe, so to speak.
Well, because of the side effects that we've heard of around the world, I mean, outside Africa, a lot of people are skeptical about taking the vaccines.
Well,
I mean, people are saying that if the ones that are in Obodo Yibu, if they're having comma for inside their own vaccines, then how much more us who are in Africa, who comma is irregular for us on the regular
It's good
day.
to know that South Africans are receiving it and they are quite receptive to it. Right then, you are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central with Olisa and Oluchi. Don't forget you can follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter at News Central TV, Instagram, Facebook, and also watch us live on YouTube.
Now, speaking of live, we live in a digital age, and this means that we wake up every day to see and hear big happenings that go on to trend and even make the news for hours and even days. Now, let's bring in Elizabeth Musa for the latest trends across Africa. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning,
Olisa and Oluchi. I'm glad to be here this morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing very well, Liz.
All right, so let me just let you in on what's been trending on social media. So on Thursday, the 29th of this last month, rather, we saw that there was rage on social media. Before the rage emerged, first of all, a girl by name Iniobong Umoren had come on social media to speak about how she needs a job. You know how people just come on social media to say, oh, whatever it is they need, oh, I need a job and all that stuff. So after she put out this tweet, what followed was a friend posting later on saying that she needed that, like, people need to, look out for a friend. That friend has been declared missing after that tweet was put out. So everyone started, asking what the details are like. So apparently what happened is the girl who put out that tweet said that she was looking for a job, and then somebody had responded under the tweet saying that she should send a DM, that's a direct message, send a DM about this, that he has like an offer. Apparently it was in a far place, but the girl, when people are in dire need for a job, so she decided to, just still follow up and, go to this place, which was at Airport Road in the south part of Nigeria, that's in Akwa Ibom, Uyo. And apparently what followed was a raping and a killing, and now the hashtag is justice for Ini Umoren. So that's the hashtag that's been trending on social media. It's not something that we can close our eyes. It's not something we can look away from. It's the situation of things. It mirrors what actually is happening in the continent, in Nigeria especially. The situations right now is unemployment, insecurity, gender-based violence. So how do you wake up in the morning looking for a job, and then the next thing is that you've been kidnapped, you're found missing, and then you are killed. That's exactly what's happening right now in Nigeria. Because even people will be like, oh, you know, what you need to do when you're when things happen, you need to send a message to a friend. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to let people in on whatever it is your movement is. She did everything. She sent a message to her friend. She, you know, sent her whereabouts to her friend. She did everything, and still she was killed. That's the situation of things That's the situation of things in Nigeria. So it's very sad, Olisa. It was a really sad morning on Sunday, and the hashtag is Justice for Inumore, and we must say her name. We can't look over it. We have to discuss it.
All right, so while that hashtag is trending, Justice for Umore, who is the victim in question out there in Akwa Ibom, it's a serious case. We hear that the alleged kidnapper, you know, and murderer has been arrested by police. What can you tell us about that, first, Lizzie?
Okay, first off, we hear that he has been arrested, but the details are not so clear. We hear he's been arrested, and then we also hear that there are some linkings with some political people. It's just messed up. It's very messy.
All right.
Yeah, there's also a video where the police was talking to the crowd because they were asking for a body. That's the family members. They were asking for a body so that they can conduct an autopsy. But the police is saying that no, they can't. They have to keep custody of the body for now, you know, follow due process. And then, you know, the family members just want this body, you know, to know what's up. They're like, oh. So that's the situation at the moment on this issue.
All right.
Yeah, so that's the video up there. So we might just listen to what the police is saying.
Understand with us, give us chance to be able to do what we needed to do. Indeed, he assaulted her both sexually and physically, and thereafter, when we caught him, after he had confessed, he was able to take us to a shallow grave where he buried her, and we were able to exhume the body. As I speak, the body has been deposited at UUPH. The essence of doing that is so that autopsy can be conducted. Now, if you do not...
So yeah, that's the video you have there. Actually, I'm following up with the friend. We have to really shout out to the friend who brought this thing out to social media. Her name is Umo Uduak. So following up with the friend, hopefully we're able to get some word from her on the situation at the moment.
All right, good job, Lizzie. Follow up, let's know what's the latest. So that's an official statement from the police. So the perpetrator has confessed, he's been arrested, the body has been exhumed, the corpse has been exhumed and it's been taken out. But there's still more on the case. It is a legal case. It's a murder case. There will be charges and the follow-up will continue. But thank you very much, Lizzie, for bringing that one to us on Trendwave.
Thank you so much, Olisa, Oluchi. Bye, guys.
Thank you. It's a sad story. I mean, this just makes everybody stay alert. I mean, my people say, they come, no be address. You need to let at least one person know where you're going to, your exact location, who you're meeting, because you never can tell how things can swing.
And it's quite big because it's a gender-based violence issue once again. Right then, still more issues this time in West Africa. We're taking you to Chad, and the military council in that country took power last month after the shocking death of the president, veteran leader Idriss Deby, and has named the transitional government in the country. And now the 37-year-old son, that's Muhammad, who took the helm of the so-called Transitional Military Council, named the government comprising of 40 ministers and deputy ministers and created a new National Reconciliation Ministry.
Now, according to the Military Council spokesman Azem Bemado Agona, the new ministry is to be headed by Sheikh Ibrahim Omar, a former rebel chief who became a diplomatic advisor to the presidency in 2019. And
we're joined now by our correspondent, Abdul Aden. Welcome back, Abdul. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you too. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Abdul. All right, tell us the mood and the feeling in Chad after the announcement of the transitional government.
Now, the Transitional Military Council had earlier promised that they will return back the country to democratic rule after 18 months. But then again, it seems the process has started much earlier due to pressure. And the naming of this new cabinet and the transitional, the reconciliatory team indeed shows that the pressure has been too much to hold.
Okay. Now, looking over the past week, there's been international concern for the stability of Chad in recent times. Now, as a rebel group has tried to advance on the capital, which is in N'Djamena, does this new transitional government put to rest the unrest that is ongoing there in Chad?
One thing, the former, the son of the late President Mohammed, what they have done is they have maintained the prime minister and they've maintained the presidency, albeit until after 18 months. And the majority of the cabinet are also members who are previously friendly with the administration. But one thing this action has made, it has actually, turned the focus away from the government and onto the rebel forces and other threats to the government, because we know the French President Emmanuel Macron had earlier on promised the support for the government and action against any forces. Therefore, it actually returns some faith to the government, even the opposition are really criticizing the action.
Well, Abdi, let's talk about, you just mentioned opposition. Long-time opposition politician in the country, that's Saleh Kebzabo, was not named in this transitional government, but he's issued a statement saying he recognized it. Now, what does that, say about what's going on in Chad right now? Is it perhaps a turn for better things?
Of course, it is such an action you should expect from our African leaders, especially from the opposition. When you have some of your representatives and getting two people named from Saleh Kebzado's camp actually means that in order to sustain the unity in his own opposition group, he has to support the naming of two of his members to the cabinet. And of course, there are other opposition groups actually who are, criticizing the composition of that cabinet, because some of them are left out. And, having some of the previous members of the cabinet in the same administration means that there is not much change as expected, though Saleh Kebzado has been made silent.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdel, for your time on Breakfast Central this morning.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your program.
All right, thank you very much, Abdin. Always a regular right here to give us the latest in the country. He mentioned about, French President Emmanuel Macron, who clearly has been giving lots of support to Chad, especially with the father, even before he passed away. But I remember when, when the president died, there was talk about the president giving them conditional, time for them to sort themselves out in Chad.
Exactly. Let's just see how this plays out. We'll be bringing you more updates as it unfolds in Chad. All right, then, this brings us to the very end of the show for today on Breakfast Central, but we will be here again tomorrow, same time, same place. I remain Oluchi Inobong. And I'm Olisa Chukuma. Breakfast Central returns to you once again, so don't miss it. On behalf of the Carson crew, we say have yourselves a wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye for now.